The thing is, that's also where all the risk comes in, right? We don't want to make a bad trade or buy the wrong contract or lose money or be in a contract at the wrong time and it expires and we lose all the cash that we put into it, taking what we learned in class, but then screwing it up when we get in the real world. It's too easy sometimes to just like lose everything because we miss one little detail from class. Or the biggest risk, in my opinion, which is to quit before you ever see results. And so when we get to implementation, you can either go figure it out on your own through trial and error, right? Take what you learned here and go start making trades and see how that goes for you. Or you can get professional help with implementation. How many of you actually like the idea of somebody helping you with implementation? You guys like that idea? So a lot of people came up and asked us, hey, can you help us with implementation? These classes are great. Maybe they have like one of Ben's services and they're like, can we dive deeper into this? And so that's where the master's program came from, to help people like yourself who are serious about trading in options get help with the implementation they need when they actually get out there into the market weeks, months, and even years after this class. And so I don't want to spend a lot of time here, but I want to take a moment to just give you a brief overview of what the master's program is all about before we break you out to your small groups for the last time today. Number one, the master's program is designed to bridge the gap of education. So it's making sure you know everything you need to know about how options work. Ben did a pretty good job today of setting that up for us, but let's be real, to like fully understand options and the Greeks, like we need more than just a few hours, right? We need to spend some time, maybe even weeks understanding it, playing with it. And so the education gap really gets closed by being in this trading group. We've got all sorts of stuff, options 101, options 201, not to mention deeper dive strategies. If you're learning something here, like the 2 strategies we taught you today, spending about an hour each on those inside the program, it's like 3, 4, 5 hours on each of those. So it's deepening that education. The second is opportunity, right? Ben has worked with Ethan and our data team to develop algorithms that actually serve up trading opportunities every single day. So a lot of the stuff he was showing us today, like Amazon, like Apple, those weren't things that Ben just like went and found manually. He doesn't have to do that anymore. Those were the golden days. Now he uses algorithms and he uses data-driven decisions that come from those algorithms to create his trades. And so we get access to those. We're talking golden hour trades, smart money moves, earnings-based trades, and more. When you're part of Ben's master's program, you even get like access to his calendar of trades. So where is he actually placing his trades, for example, ahead of earnings season? And then finally, the third piece is guidance. It is coaching. Sometimes we need someone to help us get unstuck, right? Or help us avoid specific situations where most people would screw up or give up or make those beginner mistakes. And so we're not only doing that with Ben, we're doing that with Ethan, with Mr. Anderson, as we call him, as well as other students. So you're getting to kind of have a peer group of people who are in the options trading game. So you're immersing yourself in this language and in this community. And so that's basically it. That's what it's about. It's designed to take people through the journey of implementation in the real world. So we're not just feeling around in the dark. We're not just like guessing through trial and error, trying to figure this thing out on our own. Because, you know, a lot of people, they say, yeah, I want to make a lot of money. I want to be an options trader. This is something that I want to do. But most people don't really do what's necessary, right? They're not willing to do their part. And so what we've learned over the years is that as great as Ben's master's program is, just like an Ivy League school has great programs for students that come to that college, there's a selections process for getting into Harvard. And there's a reason for that, because the student has to bring something to it. In order for the magic to really work, there's got to be a certain type of person that is ideal. And so we've identified that there's basically 5 criteria, 5 traits that we look for someone to join Ben's master's program. And the first is time and effort. A lot of people want to get rich quick, right? They want to just like buy a service, an alert system, a tool that just tells them what stocks to buy. The reality is, you're going to spend way less time and effort if you're inside the master's program than you would on your own, but you're still going to spend time and effort. So this is not a diet pill, right? This is going to require a few hours a week of dedication to actually become an options trader. So we're only looking for people who are seriously committed to actually spending time every single week. Doesn't mean every day, doesn't mean 40 hours a week, but if you're not willing to put in 5 hours, 10 hours a week, you're probably going to have a hard time becoming a successful trader. Number 2 is coachability. If you're a know-it-all, probably not going to work out that well. If you're not willing to get uncomfortable, probably not going to work out that well. If I asked you right now to write your name on a piece of paper with your opposite hand, so if you're right-handed, write it with your left hand, okay? Is that going to feel weird? Yeah. When you're first getting started trading and trying things out and you've never done it before, it's going to feel weird, but you're also not going to spell your name wrong. Right? So we've got you. We'll walk you through the process. We'll teach you and train you and point you in the right direction, but you got to be willing to get outside of your comfort zone, because our comfort zone is never where we grow anyway. The third is an interesting one, which is motivation beyond money. When people are like, dude, I'm just desperate for some cash right now, a lot of times they blow up their accounts, right? Or they quit 3 weeks in and go drive Uber. Like, you have to be serious about trading for something bigger than just money. Maybe it's because you want to be able to not have to use your retirement funds. Maybe it's because you want to be able to pay off a bunch of debt or put your grandkids into a better college, or to fund some sort of charity. What we find is when there's something bigger than just you making money, those people tend to be the most successful. And so feel into that. Like, is there some bigger goal here for you? And if there is, then maybe, just maybe, you would be a fit for this program. The next is decisiveness, which is really just the willingness to take action, right? And take a calculated risk, make a decision, right? When there's an opportunity in front of us, how fast do we have to move in this business? You can't wait 2 or 3 days to decide to get into Amazon, right? You can't wait 2 or 3 days to get into Apple, right? I saw that alert this morning from Ben. I went and checked the chart. There was still meat in the move, so I got into it. I didn't make $50,000 today like some people, but I made a few $100. Great. I was able to do that while I was on a workshop with you guys. That type of decision-making process, saying yes, saying no, they're both great. But people that are hemming and hawing and can't make decisions don't do very well with this type of business. And then finally, the willingness to invest in themselves. Entrepreneurs and traders alike, they both know you got to invest in your success. You have to invest in your growth, your education, your relationships. They're not looking for something for nothing. And so these are the 5 things that we interview for. So when people say, hey, I want help with implementation, before we invite anybody on board, we ensure they meet these 5 criteria, and then they earn an invitation. And that's great. We can enroll them. Sometimes, though, people don't meet these criteria. And you know what? That's okay, too. If we're going to spend time getting on the phone with somebody and interviewing them, before they leave us, we want to leave them in a better place. So we might make some recommendations, like, here's some things you might try out there. Here's how you maybe not as easily, but possibly could do it without us. So we just want to make sure that everybody, if they're going to spend time with us in that conversation, they're leaving in a better place than we found them. So does that sound kind of fair? All right. So by a show of hands, I'm sure there's some people here that might be interested, or at least somewhat interested, in exploring this opportunity. How many of you might be interested in actually applying to work with Ben outside of this class? Who here would be interested in learning more about options, diving deeper into the frameworks, potentially being part of the master's program? You can just raise your virtual hand so I can get a little head count here. In fact, I think I have a poll for this. I'm 90%. Yep, there it is. Okay, perfect. Asia already launched it. So just click yes here. And this is just you saying, yeah, I'm interested. I think it would be valuable for me to learn more and work more with Ben. You're not committing to anything by saying yes here. It's just kind of giving us the head count and knowing, who here does fall into that group of people who are serious, right? And that's cool. Some people are just kicking tires and trying to figure out whether or not they want to, be an options trader. And that's cool. But if you're somebody that says, after today, I'm beginning to suspect, and maybe, just maybe, this is my path to wealth, or having these types of trades in my arsenal is going to help me achieve my financial goals better, then clicking yes here is just a way of signifying that to yourself and to us so that we know that you are interested. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to get into the smart data trifecta. Today we focused on those first 2. Tomorrow we're going to get into market money, market moment, and market math. These are the top 3 data-driven options trading strategies. Who's excited for day 2? Who's going to be back here with bells on, 12 p.m. tomorrow? Okay, as a reminder, if you did grab a VIP ticket, 8:30 a.m., same link you used, it'll take you to that page where you'll see the day 1 session, the day 2 session, and the VIP session. You'll just click on the VIP session, and you'll know to click on that one because it'll say join. Big blue button, it'll say join, okay? If you are, however, not joining us for the VIP, it's the same page. You just won't see the VIP session. You'll just see session 2, and when we open the doors, it'll also say join. But for now, it is time for us to go to our homework small group, where you're going to discuss what to do tonight to make sure you are prepared for tomorrow. Thank you all so much for your attention. I'm excited for you. Go to your breakout rooms now. I will see y'all in the mañanas.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Who's ready for some homework? Oh, yeah, we're in school right now. We got to get some homework. I saw that, Richard. He's like, oh. I'm just kidding with you, Richard. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, guys. Let's get to it. Couple just updates. I have been starting to send out the one-on-one texts for those of you who have texted me. Again, if you don't see it quite yet, that's okay. Again, there's a total of 52 of us in this class, and there's only one me. I'm going to do as much as I can. I'll work as late as I can to make sure I help you guys moving forward, but just make sure you're keeping an eye out for it, just to confirm that time, just so I know that we can block that time off and really dedicate that to you and your success. So first part's there. Make sure we're taking a look at our texts. I'm going to keep sending them out as we go throughout the evening. So just keep an eye on them for the next half hour or so, for that ability. Second, guys, I want to just take a second and really congratulate you guys. I know we talk about how trading can be hard and not everybody becomes successful at trading. I think we all have kind of seen that now, right? I think some of us might have had some losses in the market ourselves. Get some hands on that, got some head nods. Absolutely. Definitely happens. Definitely happens. Beautiful. Guys, we started with 52. There's 42 of us left. It's only been 4.5 hours. We already seen 10 people drop out. You guys are on the right track to what it means to be successful. You guys stayed through it. You stuck with it. I know people like Johnny, I could tell he's getting some work done while he's here. And that's the sacrifice sometimes it takes, is putting yourself forward, taking the education, finding the opportunities. So I want to just applaud everybody, give a round of applause for everybody here. You guys made it to the end of the day. We do have day 2, so we're only at the halfway mark. And I would love to see that we end with 42 people tomorrow as well, because that's the motivation. It just drives me forward. That's why I do what I do. That's why I love helping you guys. So let's kind of get into homework, and I'll let you guys go ahead and enjoy the rest of your evenings. The homework is, I kind of wanted to really think about this. So just a little bit of a story about myself. I had a father figure in my life. He was very motivating and really guided me through, those teenage, early adult years. And, just about last year, almost 2 years now, I get a call one day from my good friend who was his son, and he called me and said, "Hey, look, Dad had a heart attack, but everything should be fine." And I was like, "Oh, okay, great. I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad it looks like everything's good." And something apparently slipped in an hour of that conversation, and he ended up passing away at 50 years old. And at first I was like, that's detrimental, especially for the family that I spent a lot of time with growing up. And then it kind of hit me. He was a cop, and he was a cop for a long time, and he didn't really have much put away. And I've always thought about that and worried, because he didn't know. This is very sudden what was going to happen. And there wasn't, from what I understand, I could be wrong, but from what I understand, there wasn't a whole lot of anything put aside. And this family, had to really figure that out. And it was just a really hard time to figure that out. But it got me thinking, what are we doing to prepare for that fateful day? How are we getting ready to be able to cope with this and go through that experience? And what is someone going to say about us when that fateful day inevitably will come? So not to bring the mood down too much, but for our homework, I kind of wanted to see where you are as of today. Write a just kind of a 1-page, 500-word paragraph on your eulogy. So if today was the last day, this is the last day that we have for ourselves. What is someone else going to say about us when that day comes? What accomplishments do we have to look back on, and where are we now? And then what do we want them to say? I know I'm getting a little dark with you guys, but I want you guys to take some time with this, because it is inevitable. The statistic they say is 100% of people who are born will pass away. And it's something that we definitely want to think about. So right now, don't worry about writing your whole page, your whole eulogy, writing all the accomplishments down, what we think is going to be said about us.